Always good to see you.
It's so good to see you. And of course, you know the fabulous Philip Watson from all of his Cottage Farms presentations. But Cottage Farms has given us a completely new way to keep our plants happy. This is a cool idea.
It is so cool. These are called Plantpals, and this is a self-watering system. So this is your plant's best friend. It will also be your best friend. It's a great babysitter. You're getting 3 different sizes here. These are very, very easy to fill. That's what I like. They've got a nice, big, heavy opening here. And let's go down front because I want to show how I've already got some down here.
Perfect. And you know, Philip, as a horticulturist, I know, well, you've always told me, one of the mistakes that people make most is the most simple mistake. They over or underwater their plants.
Correct, exactly. And the nice thing about this is that you don't have to know how to water, because this thing's got a brain of its own. Now, I've got my daylilies here. We can take a little look at this. You see how beautiful the daylilies look in this container? You know why? They got the Plantpal in here.
You know what I like about the Plantpal?
It's wonderful.
It's like your little secret, because look, Philip has to pull all of the leaves up to see that it's really
exactly.
hidden.
Now, this is like a gas tank, except it's going to not hold gas. It's going to hold your water for your plants.
Fantastic.
2 weeks worth. Fill this all the way up, and guess what? It's got a little bulb that comes up here. It lets you know when it needs water. All you have to do is look at that. What are your plants going to look like if you leave the garden for 2 weeks and don't water?
You know, and Philip, a lot of us are worried about maybe going out of town on vacation, but you know, more importantly, with container gardening, one problem with container gardening is you really have to do babysit because they dry out faster.
Yes,
now that's not a problem.
They absolutely do, and also you can fertilize through this, which is great. I fertilize mine once every 2 weeks, a constant feed and constant watering.
Oh my gosh, that's
brilliant.
Actually,
it's watering on demand, so it doesn't just dribble out all the time. It dribbles when it needs to.
So it really prevents overwatering as well, which could be as big of a problem as underwatering.
Correct, exactly. Now, also, if you've got office plants and you've got plants on a high shelf, you know, that are difficult to reach, why not put a Plantpal in there, and then you only have to climb up there once every 2 weeks instead of every other day.
So this is actually going to be good then for our indoor and outdoor plants.
Yes.
And what size pots should we be using on this?
Well, I tell you what. This is what you're going to get. Let me grab these again. You want the big? I'll let you know the big one.
I'm a little slow getting up and down. So
that's okay. You can stay right down there. You've got the big one right there, which is fantastic. If you've got the whiskey barrel size, this is the size to use for that one. Now, look at this one right here.
Nice.
This is for a more intermediate size pot.
So this is going to be like indoor, outdoor. Or actually, I guess all of them could be indoor, outdoor, depending on how big.
All of them could be indoor, outdoor, depending on what they are. Now, if you've got smaller pots, and you also got the small one, this holds 13.5 ounces of water. But they will all water the pots for about 2 weeks, which is really, really great.
Oh my gosh, Philip, I'm getting ready to go on vacation on Monday, and I have to tell you, I wish we would have presented this 7 to 10 days ago, so I could have, because that's one of the things, I have to have the neighbors come over to water my plants, and also, you know, even when I'm home through the summer, my container plants tend to really dry out because I forget. Now, there's no, you only have to remember once every 2 weeks.
And I love that, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to show you how to put one in. We'll go back over here for just a moment. Now, I go home to Atlanta this weekend, which is great, and I'm going to plant up my things. Now, let me just show you. This is the size pot I've got right here that I'm going to put the medium-sized one in, and I'm going to plant roses in it. This is the Plantpal. This is the in-between one. I just put it right down in there like that. See that? Then I get my soil. I put my soil in like this.
Nice.
I've got my roses here. And you could put your rose fertilizer in here once every 2 weeks. Put your rose fertilizer in.
Nice.
See, there we have it like that.
And then I like that you're not going to over or under fertilize either, because it's just going to be giving the water and fertilizer to your plants as it needs it.
Just as it needs it, which is fantastic. And this is what you're going to have. You also have this.
Okay, so as the soil dries out, it just automatically gives the soil what it needs in terms of water, right?
Gives it exactly what it needs. And every couple of weeks, you could fill this up with fertilizer, and it'll be good to go like that. But I love the fact that I come up here for usually 2 weeks at a time, and then I go home. And then when I get home, my plants are still looking fantastic because I have not had to water them while I was gone because the Plantpal did it. And you know what? My neighbors still like me because I didn't make them water my plants.
Nice.
Now see, that's full. Make sure you put the top back on here. Also, you see the little blue button right there? When it's to the top, that means that it's full. You don't need any more. So all you have to do is look at that. You don't have to open this up and peer down in there. This is your gauge, like your gasoline gauge.
Wow, and keep in mind, you are going to get all three, the small, the medium, and the large,
all
for
three of them.
$25.49. So, as far as pot sizes, they're going to fit the small, like a 7 or 8 inch pot, the medium, an 8 to 10 inch pot, or the large, a 12 to 16 inch pot, even bigger. I mean, those are just kind of rough estimates. You'll figure that out yourself when you get it home. It's easy, and I love the fact that once they're in there, you don't even notice them.
It's really great, and if you've got some plants, say like hydrangeas, that might take a little bit more water, they're ideal for that, so you don't have to worry about those. Or if you've got the whiskey barrels and you picked up some of our heirloom tomatoes earlier in the season, the large one is one you'd want to use in the whiskey barrel.
Okay, fantastic.
It is.
Well, I just really do like the fact that this whole idea of when and when not to water it's so simple, but it's what messes us all up the most.
Absolutely. This just takes all the guesswork out. If you've had bad luck with, most people love their plants to death. It's usually an overwatering situation. You cannot overwater or underwater with the Plantpals. You're getting the 3 different sizes here. It's ideal.
Now I'm thinking, if you were doing your own hanging baskets, couldn't you put these in hanging baskets then too? Because then you wouldn't have to worry so much about getting up there, taking them down.
Exactly, and also for plants that you don't want the water to get on the leaves, like African violets.
Oh, right. I didn't even think about that, because now you bypass the leaf. Wow.
Yeah.
This is smart. That's Cottage Farms for coming up with a new way to make our plants happy. Phil, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Now, wait, how long are you going to be at QVC for this season?
Well, I think my last scripted show is the 22nd, but I'm going to be back at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Fantastic.
Yeah, this morning.
Well, at least I got to stand on set with you once this year. Phil, but seriously, it was very nice to see you. Thank you so much. And this is a great, great idea. And don't